Welcome to Two Chicks and a Horror Flick, a weekly horror movie review podcast. I'm Tawny Ray.
And I'm Felicia Connor. Subscribe to get new episodes every Wednesday. We dive into trivia, drink a little whiskey, and of course, give our no BS opinions.
Join our Discord server or message us on social media to talk all things scary.
And if you like the show, consider supporting us on Patreon.
You can find all these links on our website, twochicksandahorrorflick.com. Thanks for listening.
Now let's get scared. Hello, everyone. And so you will have already experienced Father's Day to all the fathers out there when you hear this, but happy belated Father's Day to all the fathers out there. Also, if you haven't, if you're listening, pop over really quick to YouTube and just take a look at Tawny's sick pictures behind her. And then you can do whatever you want. But today, thank you for spending today with us. We are talking about Cloverfield from 2008. This is my pick. Really excited about it. But before we get into all of that, Tawny, what are you drinking?
I've got some water on deck today. Yeah,
that's awesome.
What about you?
Nothing. Because as soon as I said it, I went, shoot, I forgot to grab my water. So I guess I'm drinking nothing. But to celebrate Steve for Father's Day, I did get him, I refilled or restocked his whiskeys because we were running low. And I got him a tequila. So I would never, ever, ever think that I like tequila. And then Steve has, I think it's Don Julio 1842. I remember there's a 42 in the year, and it's really expensive in the glass case. I think he got it as a gift or something for when he was a sales guy. And so one day we were at the pool and he's like, I said, actually, let's do some shots.
Nice.
You know, sometimes that 20
it just came over you.
That 20-year-old in me pops up. And I was like, oh, this is going to be disgusting. I hate shots. And he poured that particular tequila. And I have to tell you, I was shocked. It was so good. So smooth, so delicious. So kind of addicted to that. And so I went to the store and I had them help me to have another, because we almost drunk all of his over like many weeks and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I got him this one. It's from, she said it was good. It was Mi Familia. And it looks like the bottle's cool. It looks like a rough crystal. It's really neat. So anyway,
weird.
I saying all that? Oh, because I will be drinking later. That's why I said all of that.
Yeah, I kind of thought about too, maybe I would go get some drinks. I was like, I don't know. I'm just having a weird weekend because Jade's gone. So I'm like, I don't know what to do with myself, Yeah. It's just weird. I told Felicia that.
Yeah.
And she goes, the answer is anything you want.
Yeah. She's like, I don't know what to do with myself. I'm like, dude, anything, like literally anything. Would just sit in my underwear and play video games and then read. Maybe I'll take a nap and then wake up and maybe I'll have a shot. Maybe, I don't know.
Who knows?
I imagine all of this, except I have 3 children as well. So I don't think just because Steve was gone that it would be so free for me. But yeah, I was living vicariously through Tawny.
It's not like we do everything together either. You know what I mean? Like we separate and do our own things for like a large portion of the day, but it's just weird to be alone. And so there is kind of this like, what should I do that I normally wouldn't do? And the answer is like nothing. Like I do whatever I want anyways, most of the time. So I think that's why I'm like, I feel like I should be doing something, but I'm not. And so what to do? But I am trying to get the house ready. We're going to finally do a housewarming party next weekend.
Nice.
So hence also why I'm trying to kind of put some of these pictures up and stuff in the office. But yeah.
That's fun. Well, hey, what have you been listening to, reading, watching, doing?
Yeah, I really have more life updates than I do like anything about what I've been watching.
Okay.
That I like forgot even to mention last episode. I think I was just like bummed. We talked about this in the episode. Like it's just a bummer when you watch a movie that you're really excited about and like it does not meet your expectations. And so I think I was just like not even thinking about other life updates that were happening to me. But Haven't really been watching much. I've been watching a little bit more of that Interview with the Vampire show, and it's really good. I like it a lot. But like you said, I have these pictures behind me and I'm trying to like fill out the gallery wall in my office. So that's been a whole fucking project. And that was something that Jade said. He was like, you should try to do it like while I'm gone, just so that it's like entirely your project. Cause I do have him help me and stuff, but I am struggling, dude. Like, I don't know. I overthink it and I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm sure there's got to be a better way to do this. Like, but I want to make sure it all looks nice. I want it to be perfect. But then, I spend so much time. I spent hours yesterday. Like I got off work. I went around to like get some frames from Goodwills and stuff, which is why there's this very random picture of like a lighthouse back here. I'm gonna replace that. But did that, went to Home Depot, got all kinds of like command strips because I don't want to commit. I don't want to actually put nails in the wall yet because I'm like, what if I put it all up and it sucks? And I want to reconfigure. Anyway, that's been a whole fucking thing. I also at the store, this is a random thing, but I saw somebody make like a lamp, like a little LED lamp out of a VHS tape as like a craft thing. Yeah. Isn't this a great idea?
Sick idea.
So I was like, I'm going to try this. So I just bought one at the store at Goodwill and I'm like, looking around at all the the VHSs, and I'm like, I want to get a horror one, obviously, for the horror wall. I found one, it was Signs, and then it felt like blasphemy to like ruin because I'll have to take all the tape out, And so I was like, is there a movie here that I hate? And I found a Grease VHS tape that I'm gonna defile for a little lamp, and then I'm probably gonna make a fake label and put it on there for some movie that I do like. So that's where I'm at this weekend, trying to craft desperately and doing a very slow job at it.
How fun. Oh my God, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been trying to take videos and pictures like as I go so that I can post it and stuff. But anyway, so that's what's happening there. I also, quick shout out, this is like also random and I never talk about stuff like this, but I have been talking to a therapist for months now. And something that came up like a couple times ago is we were talking about like cognitive distortions. I had not really heard of this, but it's like these thoughts that you have where you're like mind reading or you're like catastrophizing or self-blaming. There's like a whole list of them. And I keep getting pushed ads on TikTok for this like app to help you like walk through these cognitive distortions. But I found one online, so I'm just putting it here for anybody who wants to find it. I don't know if it's available on Android, but I found it on Apple and it's called Free CBT, which stands for Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. So Free CBT. And it's been very helpful because you like put in your thought and then you identify like which cognitive distortion it is. And then you like write in a different thought. Like it's like challenge your own thought and then come up with, a new thought. Yeah. Highly recommend. It's been very helpful. I'm realizing that I do a lot of mind reading, which is like you have thoughts about what people think of you or me, right? Like, I'll be like, I bet that person thinks I'm annoying or like, I don't know, just anything like that. So it's been very helpful.
Okay. First things first, free. What was the last part of it?
CBT.
Oh, free CBT. Because I want to try this. This is very, very cool. I'm even just downloading it right now.
Yeah, it's really simple and nice.
Because when you were like, I was so intrigued. You're like, yeah, so I've been talking to the therapist and, I realized I do a lot of mind reading. I'm like, oh, this is taking a turn that I wasn't expecting. But then when you explained what it is, oh, I absolutely do that. And I have to stop myself constantly. Like I'll just be showering. And these ideas, like say I'll have a meeting or say I would have had an interaction or maybe nothing freaking happened at all. So something will go into my head and then all of a sudden I realize, I'm happy I realized it, but I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Why am I having this conversation of something that may not be real at all? And so then I'll stop, but then it'll sneak back and then I find myself, oh my God, I'm doing it again constantly.
Yeah, totally. And I think that's why they're like cognitive distortions because they're not truth full things that we're like saying in our head. And the way to get rid of them, my therapist was saying, is to catch them in the moment that they're happening and like reframe it. And when she brought it up, she was like, I can tell that you don't think, she was like, eventually they go away. And I was like, okay. She was like, I can tell that you don't think that that's a possibility. And I was like, I do not. I was like, can you tell by my face? I do not think that's a possibility. And she was like, probably because it's been happening your whole life. Right. Mm-hmm. And you've never really like been super aware of it. And but just in like a day and a half of catching my thoughts, it helped so much. I stopped doing it as much for sure, because it's just crazy. But yeah, like, I don't even think you realize until you start paying attention to it. But I have those thoughts a lot. I go like, I bet that person thinks I'm stupid, or like all of these, like just mean. I bet they're so annoyed at me. I bet they don't want me to like hang out or what. Like, it's just like total fucking nonsense. Right. And so again, like you're saying, it's not even based on anything sometimes. So anyway, that's been very, very helpful.
I'm excited about this. I'm going to try this app.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Okay, we had some technical difficulties. So while that happened, I grabbed myself some whiskey because
nice.
I was like, what else am I doing today? Nothing. Okay.
I grabbed myself some water. So nice. At least I can, because I think it's only because I was so focused on the fact that I didn't have water that I started to go, oh, I'm getting very dry. My throat.
I got to have a water at all times. I used to like give my grandmother so much shit because she like could not leave the house without a bottle of water or a glass of, and my mom does the same thing. And now I do the same thing. I'm like, but what if I get thirsty? I need it. I need access to it at all times. Anyway. Okay. So that's enough about me. Give me your life updates.
Oh, so when we had our break, I've been obsessing over finding the name of this darn documentary I watched, and I watched it with my oldest, and I was obsessing before Tawny's computer had some technical difficulties. So I took advantage of that. I searched all of the channels. I couldn't find it. This is driving me crazy. I told Tawny, I searched in the... I asked Siri, I said, a documentary in 2023 about a brother who is searching for his missing sister's killer and he thinks his parents did it. A lot of stuff came up, which is not good, but not ideal. No. Finally, I put all the details, pretty much it was like, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and I found it. It is on HBO. It is called Burden of Proof. And it is about a girl who went missing when she was 15 back in 1987. Her brother thinks his parents did it, and he's searching. So it was good. Here's the nutty thing. I was so obsessed about sharing this with you when on one side I didn't really enjoy it. I thought it was really slow. Okay. But I thought it was fascinating. I think if they would have cut some of the stuff and pieced it together a little differently. Because if I think about the ending, which of course I will not share, I think, wow, that is really fascinating. But there was lots of long, drawn out parts as well. So anyway, at least I found it. I'm happy about that because it was really bugging me.
Was it a movie or a series?
A series.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. It was a series. Good question. So I have been in 2 weeks of new hire training. I'm a corporate trainer by day. And so I'm in this mode now. Really great question, Tawny. So, all right. I watched that. I don't remember if I mentioned that I watched Still, about the Michael J. Fox story on Apple. Super inspiring, really wonderful. You should definitely check that out. But my biggest update is I binged the hell out of and finished Bear Brook.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, I was going to ask about this. Yeah.
So good. The way it was laid out. You didn't know what was coming. It was so good. So very exciting. Yeah. And I don't want to say anything else because I don't want anyone to know like what happened. But yeah, this is the barrels. The barrel. Yeah. If you listen to our last episode, Tawny was talking about the barrels and I'm like, wait a second, what?
You're like, I'm not on that.
What a
Susan.
sick sicko.
I know.
Ew.
It is so
Mother.
I know. The mental image that they created of this person, though, was like so different because I looked up pictures later and I was like, there's one photo of this guy that matches the description that like the first woman gives. And that is what I had in my head the whole time. Just creepy, balding, long fingernails, lanky, dirty, like just the most disgusting looking human being of your life. And there's one picture that looks exactly like how I imagined him, and the rest don't, though. You know how you're always like, man, this person doesn't look. I mean, not that serial killers always look like serial killers, of course, but like, you know, they painted a fucking picture, and I don't know. Did you look up any pictures or anything? Okay,
looked up pictures of all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fucking crazy, right? It is rare. I'm just going to savor this moment because there's like no other time in our lives that I'm going to bring to you a true crime story that you haven't heard. Because you had not heard about that one at all, right?
No, I had not heard about this one at all.
I'm proud of myself.
Oh my gosh. I'm just thinking about it and getting cold chills.
It's
crazy.
Dude.
Yes.
I love how much of a web of a story it becomes. Like those are kind of my favorite, are things that just like grow and grow and grow. And it's not even just about like this case. There's kind of these other peripheral cases that like linked in somehow, you know, and like affected oh God. Okay. I'm sorry. I'll shut up. I'll let you talk about it.
No, that's it. You said it. And then like, cause I was trying to think like, cause I don't want to give anything away to anybody who hasn't heard it. It's just like, and some other things are revealed and you just get cold chills. You're like, oh my God. Wow. What a piece of shit, man.
I know.
But see, and I can't even say anything else I want to say about that because I don't want to give anything else away. But definitely go listen to Bear Brook season 1. It was exciting. Or I mean, it, you know what? I mean, it's really sad and disturbing.
Obviously, yeah.
I just mean the way they laid this story out was great.
Yeah, the storytelling is really well done.
Yes, yeah. This is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, we knew what you meant.
Yeah. The only other thing I want to mention is my MAC lipstick is because I have so many of them. This is like my whiskey now. It's TN Teaser, but I have Dragon Girl over it. I realized I need to go to Ulta or Sephora because I don't have an orange based lip liner. So I tried to pick one as close, but Dragon Girl and Ruby Woo is like more of a blue, like a pinky blue based, but it was like the brightest one I had. So, and this one is definitely orange based.
I'm loving that one. It looks really good.
Thank you. It's fun. Yeah. All right. That's all I have.
Okay.
Lipstick and true crime. Ooh, that is a good podcast name.
Lipstick and true crime.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. No, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. We are talking about Cloverfield from 2008. I watched it on Apple TV. The director is Matt Reeves. He is best known for the show Felicity. Anyone who's my age remembers that show. I loved that show. Or maybe other ages too. Felicity, The Batman, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, some other Planet of the Apes movies. So these are the things.
The Batman, which one is that? Is that the most recent one with Robert Pattinson? Is that person's name? Am I fucking that up?
The Twilight guy?
Yeah.
No, I think that's right. But I don't know if that's what the one is.
The Batman is.
Oh yeah, The Batman is 2022 film. Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep, that's the one. Okay, so for our cast, we have Michael Stahl-David as Rob, Jessica Lucas as Lily, Michael Vogel as Jason, Lizzie Kaplan as Marlena, TJ Miller as Hud, and Odette Annabelle as Beth.
I fucking forgot Lizzie Kaplan was in this. I started and I was like, oh shit. I saw her name on it, I think. And I was like, she's in this? Yeah.
I forgot that too. And of course, this is a found footage. We're doing our found footage month. So the budget was $3 million. No, the budget was $30 million. The box office was $172.4 million. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 78%, IMDb a 7 out of 10, and Letterboxd a 3.3 out of 5. Also, it did win some awards.
Really? I'm surprised by those scores. Okay, tell me awards.
Yeah. So let's take a look at these awards. The Saturn Awards, it got Best Science Fiction Film. And Lizzie Kaplan did get she got nominated a lot for Best Supporting Actress. Golden Schmoes Award, I don't know what these, but got Best Horror Movie of the Year. Internet Film Critics Society Awards got Most Experimental Film, or it won for that. ASCAP Film and Television Music Awards got the Top Box Office Film Award. And then Best Score from Fangoria Chainsaw Awards, which is the reason I said that is because there's a whole section about how that didn't really have a score.
Yeah,
at all.
I was just thinking that.
That's weird.
Okay.
Okay. So those are the awards it won. And yeah, that's it so far.
Okay.
Ready.
Yeah. Oh, I'm here. I'm ready. I'm ready because I was listening to a podcast episode by our friends over at the BVK podcast, Bev's Video Kingdom. And they did an episode on most memorable movie masks. And have been listening to that for a couple days. And they did something with ChatGPT. And I have not fucked with ChatGPT at all. So this is my first foray into it. And I thought, I wonder if it can help me do these summaries. And so I typed into ChatGPT, give me a 2-minute summary of Cloverfield plot summary. And then I said, give me a funny one. And so here is the today's 2 Minutes with Tawny is brought to you by ChatGPT.
I have to say, look at us. Cheers to Tawny. Two Chicks and a Horror Flick using AI.
Yay.
Yeah, we've gone into the future.
Dude, I'm here for it, to be honest. I'm like, you should also know that I'm terrified of Skynet, but I'm like, I'm here for let's just get these computers to do all of our fucking work for us. Why not, dude? And then we'll just kick back. We'll live great cush ass lives,
All right, let's do it. I'm excited.
It was a little wrong. I had to edit it because it wasn't totally right. And also, I don't know how funny this is, but I'm just going to read to you what it gave me.
Do it. I'm excited.
Turn back now if you haven't seen actually Cloverfield, but it's been a while. What year was this? I can't remember if you said.
Yeah, it was. I can't remember what I said, but 2008.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So there's this guy named Rob who's all set to move to Japan for a new job. But before he leaves, his friend Hud decides to throw him a going-away party in New York City. Little do they know, things are about to get seriously out of hand. Just as the party is getting started, the whole place starts shaking like crazy. Turns out it's not just a regular earthquake. Nope, it's a full-on monster attack. And of course, Hud being the brilliant documentarian that he is, he decides to keep filming everything. Because who needs to run for their lives when you can get it all on camera, right? Am I right? ChatGPT. Okay, so Rob, Hud, and their motley crew of friends venture out into the chaos of the city, and let me tell you, they encounter all sorts of obstacles. It's funny because it's not actually that funny. Anyway,
it's cute that Chat GPT has such a personality.
It's really trying. Okay,
yeah.
I give it props for effort here. There are explosions, crumbling buildings, and even creepy crawly creatures running around. It's like a chaotic amusement park, but with terrible Yelp reviews. I thought that one was pretty funny too. Okay, but here's the kicker. Amidst all the mayhem, oh god, now I can't even read it. But here's the kicker. Amidst all the mayhem, Rob is desperate to find his crush, Beth, who is stuck in her apartment. Because nothing says romance like risking your life in the middle of a monster rampage, right? They battle their way through the wreckage, narrowly escaping death at every turn. They even have some close encounters with the military who are hilariously trying to take down the monster. Spoiler alert, it doesn't go so well for them. Eventually, they reach Beth's building, only to find her in a seriously bad situation. I won't ruin it for you, but let's just say things aren't looking too good for her. Despite all the chaos, they decide to make a run for it and head to the evacuation site. But wait, just when you think they might make it out alive, the monster attacks again and the helicopter crashes. Hud sadly becomes a casualty of the monster madness while Rob and Beth barely manage to survive. In the end, we get a glimpse of their last moments together and then it cuts to black. Classic cliffhanger move, right? And that, my friends, is the wild and wacky adventure that is Cloverfield. It's like Godzilla meets a found footage frat party. Good luck getting that footage on YouTube.
That was so fun. Nice.
Thank you, Chat GPT.
That was fun. Oh my gosh. I can't wait for you to do it for the next one. Do it again.
I want to like play with the prompts. Get like different vibes, you know, different, I don't know, angles in.
Scary, sad, disturbing, funny. Just like, yeah. Ooh, I want to try it now too, even though 2 minutes with Tawny is yours. So fun. All right. Thank you for that. Tawny, what did you think about this movie?
Yes, I'm kicking us off because this was your pick.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I fucking really love this movie. And I think it gets a lot of shit and people shit on it. And they have been for a long time. That's why I was surprised by the scores. I actually thought they were higher than what I thought they were going to be. Because I've heard so many people over the years be like, oh, Cloverfield, I couldn't even tell what was happening. It made me so like nauseous. It's just like, I don't know. Like I just don't hear a lot of people saying a lot of nice things about it. But I was like, fucking I love this movie. Like going through the process of watching it again. I can't remember if I saw it in theaters or not. I might have because I was 17 and this is definitely something I would have gone to see. But there's like a perfect storm happening in this movie. It's found footage. It's a monster. It's chaos. It's fucking abrupt chaos just with them getting interrupted in the middle of this party. Fucking, I love it. There's also a little bit of sci-fi, right? You assume that they're aliens. It's great.
Awesome. Oh, that makes me happy because for some reason I don't know why. Oh, I bet it was what were the cognitive distortion things. I think I mentioned Cloverfield and your face was neutral. And I thought, oh shit, she hates this movie. So I was really nervous to mention it because I didn't want to. Look, we're going to watch things we don't like, things we like. We get it. But I don't like to go out and if I know for a fact, like Tawny does not like it, it's not as fun to watch it. But so I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah. And I also, when you said that, I didn't want to give it away.
Yeah.
And so I just was like, I just also continued to try to be neutral about it all the way through so that you didn't know. But I was like, I think I actually really like that movie. And the weird thing was, though, I didn't remember when I think about this movie. I thought that you only saw the monster at the very, very end. Like, I didn't remember all the monster stuff leading up to it. I thought you couldn't see anything. And there was like no, you kind of had an idea that there was a big thing, a big monster, but you couldn't see it. And that is not the case at all. You get a lot of, it's hard to see because it's found footage, right? It's really quick, but I don't know. That was weird. My memory was wrong. I thought the time that you really only got to see it was when they were in the helicopter and it comes out of the, or gets bombed and then shoots out at them.
Yeah. Okay. So that's very good to hear. I also love this movie. I was happy because I remember loving it. I love aliens and I say this every time. I'm just going to say it again. I know Felicia, but whatever. I love aliens and I love everything's normal. And now the shit is off the chain.
Me too. Yeah.
God, I love it. And so I loved this movie and I was hoping I still would on a rewatch because it's been many years. And I really did. And it was funny. There was parts I said, I love this movie. What did I say? Oh, I said, I love this movie and I even like the characters and the acting. If you put aside the fact that they are 20 living in $1 billion New York apartment and one kid is going to be the VP of a Japanese company. And I mentioned that. And Steve, wow, being positive about horror, said, actually, nowadays it's not too hard with crypto and technology. It's not too hard to believe. Like,
but this was
right, darling. What if they're into NFTs? You know what? I think for because Steve is really into, he follows all of that NFTs and stuff like that. These are like 20-year-old kids who are making millions upon millions of dollars in crypto and NFTs. So I think that's why he was like, well, I don't think it's too hard to believe.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a fair point. But also this was 2008. So it's like, I don't know. Good point. I did not pick up on that at all, but really good point. Because they are in like the heart of New York City. Like they are right there. Huge loft. Yeah.
Huge, gorgeous loft. Yeah. He looks like he just turned 20. And now he's going to be the VP of some company in Japan. But I mean, their acting was good. It was just they looked very young and very rich. So I told myself, I was talking to my oldest daughter who watched it with me. Actually, both of my oldest daughters watched it with me. They also really enjoyed it because it wasn't scary. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it was exciting to think, what if?
Totally.
Oh my God. But anyways, we were talking about it and I'm like, well, I just saw this documentary about socialites. maybe they're socialites. They have rich parents and whatever.
Yeah, totally.
It wasn't so distracting that it took away from the movie.
Yeah. I'm glad that it was a good experience again, revisiting. I feel like there were some moments for me where I was kind of like getting annoyed or like, I don't know, but I really waffled all the way through. Like the decisions made, some of them I thought were really stupid. And then I'd be like, I don't know that you would actually do anything different, Like, yeah. So I feel like it does a pretty good job of like walking the line most of the time, But like as soon as they were like, let's go get on the bridge, I was like, no, it's a terrible idea. Terrible first idea. Everybody's going to be going over the bridge. But I guess there's only a couple ways off because you are in an island in Manhattan, right?
You don't want to be where that thing is.
No.
Which is right in the middle of the city. So I agree. It waffles because you could see why and how that they did make the decisions they made. Now, sorry for all of my friends and loved ones out there. I'm going to tell you. If you left me a voice message and it pretty much sounded like you were dead, I think that I would go with the military. Now, here's the thing. If one of my kids could possibly be alive in the apartment, I would go.
I was going to ask you exactly this question is, would you do this? And if you wouldn't, who would you do it for?
Yes.
Your kids.
I would for my kids. For Steve, I think that I would. I really do think that I would for my kids 100%. And Steve too, I should say. It's Father's Day. But yeah, I'm sorry. Like,
I mean, here's the argument against
for
Steve.
anyone else.
not Steve just as a person, but like all significant others, especially if you have children. Mm-hmm. If you have children, your like job is to get your children out safely. So like, I could definitely see why you would not go back for Steve, but you would go back for your children because you are like, you want to go and save them. But if you're with your children, priority number one is getting them safe and out. Right.
Yes,
and so you can't put them at risk to go find your significant other, and your significant other probably wouldn't want that either. Right.
Yeah. I'm so glad you said that. You're absolutely right. If I was the one in the apartment, I would just hope, honestly, that Steve got the kids out, that Steve and the kids are out. That's what I would hope. If Steve showed up with all the kids to get me, I mean, a part of me, obviously, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, thank God. And what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, why are you here?
I thought that even when they got to Beth, right, in the apartment, and Beth's like, oh, you came for me. I'd be like, I feel like if you're not like a total shit, your reaction probably would be like, what the fuck are you doing? Yes. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes.
Why did you I had just made my peace. I was slipping off to death.
She looked like she was very comfortably slipping off.
Yes, she was good to go, dude. And she's all, oh, you came back. I'm like, no. I'd be
I'm
like,
sorry, that death
fucking save yourself.
Was way better than the death she endured, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There was a breeze coming in through the missing wall. She probably was numb from the pain. It probably set in her body. She was slipping away versus the terror she experienced the rest of the time.
Oh my God. Yes. Agree. 100%.
Leave me, everybody. Leave me and save yourselves.
Yeah. Now,
Okay.
I can see why he did this, though, right? Like, I don't think it's this is, again, something I waffled with because I was constantly like, why would you do this? But then I was like, if you, if like your family isn't there, which they're not clearly because they call him on the phone later. So they're not in Manhattan, but his brother was with him in Manhattan. He watches him die. He's gone. I could see how you would kind of be like, there's nothing else for me. Like, this is fucking chaos. This is like doomsday, apocalypse, end of the world type shit. And you don't actually know if this isn't happening everywhere else either, right? Like, could be.
Mm-hmm.
Who fucking knows? So I could see how you would be like, there's literally nothing else for me. What am I going to do? Go hide in a hole and wait for this to blow over or just die? Like, I could see how that would lead you to, I'm going to go find the person that I love. If at the very least to just be with them in the last moments of our lives, you know? So I could buy it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely if I knew for sure it was the last moments of our lives, you know, like it was end of world sort of thing. But if you think about it, well, we don't know for sure if it is because we didn't see like news reports from all over the world. It seemed like it was just Manhattan.
Yeah.
He could be alive right now, like mourning the people he lost and then moving on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. It waffles. I think the main things that I had trouble with, but it was fine. One of them was this crossing of the buildings. If I made it to the building and it was all destroyed like that, I probably would be like, oh, say some prayers and then go meet at there was different. I just remember when the Twin Towers went down, right? And there was fire on all those floors. This is what I thought of when I saw her building.
Yeah.
And then it just ended up collapsing. There was fire like everywhere in that building that was tilting. I'm like, any second now, that thing is going to go down and it's going to take the other building with it. So whatever, they decide, oh, let's cross. And then they're crossing this. I thought this is kind of silly, but it didn't make me hate it. I just thought for a moment that I was like, that's kind of silly. But
yeah, no, there's like a lot of moments like that where you're like, okay, every fiber of your being for just survival, your basic instincts of survival would be like screaming at you to do the other thing. And so the fact that they keep like running into where these monsters are, or like they go up into that building, good point. That's fucking crazy. But I did also think like, I had a lot of thoughts about 9/11 as it was going on. I feel like this movie is definitely must have been born out of the fear and anxiety of that event because it felt very much like that. And it is scary because of that. Like you said, it's not really a scary movie, and I agree with that for the most part. But there are definite moments of like terror where you're like overwhelmed by how scary this would be. You know, like, and I think that's why it kind of stands the test of time is because it's ultimately like a catastrophe movie. I mean, it is like a sci-fi. It's a lot of different genres, but that's what it feels like to me is like a catastrophe movie. Yeah,
you would because as soon as it started, I'd be like, oh my God, you would think this was a terrorist attack. 100%.
Yeah.
And then and Steve was like, until you left the convenience store and saw the head of the Statue of Liberty. How would that happen? That the Statue of Liberty was flung through the city. And I think like logically you think, well, maybe terrorists blew it up and it just propelled it into the city. Like, I still don't think you would think at that moment that this is an alien attack or an alien invasion.
No.
Yeah, no way.
And you see, I mean, I think they did a good job of this, like, because everybody stands around and just looks at it for a long time. But it would be like your brain wouldn't be able to process what the fuck just happened. I cannot be looking at the Statue of Liberty. I cannot be. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like your brain couldn't catch up.
Yeah, the director mentioned he liked that they added that moment with everybody with their smartphones recording the Statue of Liberty, because to reflect the culture we have now, where even horrific things, everything's recorded and posted on social media and posted on YouTube. So he thought that that would resonate with people. Because, yeah, you would think earthquake or terrorist attack. And then, but though once you saw the Statue of Liberty, I mean, your logical mind would be like, well, how did an earthquake do that? That you would be so confused. It would be terrifying. I loved that Statue of Liberty head. I thought the graphics were so cool.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. I mean, they're definitely like a little dated now, you know, but like I agree. I feel like they still pretty well hold up for being like entirely CGI.
Yeah. I really like the very, very, very beginning where it started the tape, and it was like ownership of the US government.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, I just thought that was cool. Little detail.
I like that too.
I have a little bit about the idea of the movie, because you had mentioned that. So J.J. Abrams, who was the producer, conceived a new monster after he and his son visited a toy store in Japan while promoting Mission Impossible 3. He explained, "We saw all these Godzilla toys, and I thought we need our own American monster, and not like King Kong. I love King Kong. King Kong is adorable, and Godzilla is a charming monster. We love Godzilla, but I wanted something that was just insane and intense."
Fucking mission accomplished, bro.
Yes. And for the Statue of Liberty, the severed head of the Statue of Liberty was inspired by the poster of a 1981 film, Escape from New York, in which the head lies on the street in New York. Reeves explained it's an incredibly provocative image, and that was the source that inspired producer J.J. Abrams to say, now this would be an interesting idea for a movie.
Interesting. It definitely evokes that like feeling of like, again, catastrophe, like something so unimaginable has happened. Like you don't even know how to process it. And I think that's what I like about this movie is it feels so epic.
Yeah. So epic. It just gets more and more intense. I loved the alien as well.
Yeah.
Even when I saw it up close with all its little details, because that's always something. And we've talked about that before, where once you see the monster, I hope it's good. I really liked it. I thought it was great. Oh, this reminds me of the second piece. That was just, it was too unbelievable. If you are that high in the air in a helicopter.
Oh, yeah.
You crash, you are dead.
You are dead.
Period. Yeah. There's like nothing even there to. So I feel like this would be a good movie for our friends, the Film Rescue. I really want to have a new ending to this movie. Because I think even if the monster coming out, because I loved that, which sends the helicopter into a tailspin, which is terrifying. Anything, in my opinion, where you see something crashing into the ground and you're bracing yourself is terrifying. And then it's done. And then maybe, remember when it was all like red and damaged in the cave, not in the cave, but in the tunnel? Because what I do like about the ending is then the tape just like glitches, whatever, stops recording. And then the end of the tape is the beginning. And we can see the alien arriving or something arriving in the background. I love that, how we end with the beginning and you have that time stamped. So, but what's hard is I loved that up close of the monster, right, when he eats HUD. So maybe if we can have that type of a view of the monster at some point, but maybe just not there, I guess, because you would be dead.
Definitely dead. I feel like there's some tiny changes that could be made too. Like maybe the helicopter doesn't totally crash. Maybe they like bring it in for a kind of rough landing, you know, so it's not so wild to survive. Because you're right. Like they also get out with like pretty minimal injuries. Like they have to put a tourniquet around our main guy's leg. I forgot his name.
But then he jumps up and runs with them.
Yeah, he's doing all right after that. So it that was pretty unbelievable. But I agree. Wow. I like the picking up in the mouth, because you keep waiting for that to happen through the whole movie and it never does until the very end. So I feel like there is a payoff there.
Yes, I agree.
You're like, is this monster going to like ignore this guy? Really? Is that really what's going to happen? No. He's going to eat him.
Yeah, that was interesting too, though. He ate him, loved it, loved it. And then you hear, Hud, 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 Hud. And then they run over to him.
Yeah, yeah.
So where did the alien go? I said this to my oldest. I was like, did he eat him and then like run off? Because it's like, isn't he just like right there? Didn't he just eat your friend?
Must have. I also was like, shut the fuck up. You don't want to be like bringing attention to yourself. Like I think I would like if that was me, I'd like huddle up into a little ball and just like hope to God that it thinks I'm dead. Will leave me alone and won't step on me.
Yeah, exactly. I know they needed to get the camera, but I think that was overlooked because that was absurd. They wouldn't have survived. And what did the alien just go like, I'm full now. I'm going to take off.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah, maybe HUD dies earlier. And then they grab the camera or something. I don't know. Anyways, that was one piece.
I do have one more thing that I want to add to the list of things that I find unbelievable. And I'm waffling on this one, but I kind of found annoying that woman, Lizzie Kaplan, what's her name? Marlena. She gets attacked in the subway, and then like it felt to me like they must have shot these scenes way out of order, like way far apart from each other, because the tone is like so different. Like they're getting chased in the subway, they were close to death, like 3 of them almost die, and then they get locked in this room. And now like Marlena is like joking with people. And this was a moment that took me way out. I was like, no fucking way. No. If I just got bit by something to the point where I am gushing blood out of these wounds, I'm certainly not going to be making jokes to people. But then I go like, I'm trying to give it the benefit of the doubt. And I go like, maybe you just don't know what you'd do if you were close to death and you felt like you were going to die anyway. And so you're trying to, I don't know. You just never know how you're going to react. But it was a little too far. It was too beyond the pale for me. It took me out of it.
I agree with you. The terror, the just utter exhaustion and terror and confusion. Maybe you'd make a joke. I don't know. I don't think I would. And I also think I would be worried. I don't know. Maybe not, but I immediately thought when she was bit, oh, I hope that thing didn't impregnate her. Because I just think of all the alien stuff, right?
I was also thinking, but yeah, is that what happens later, maybe?
I think that's what happens, right? Because it explodes out from within her.
Yeah.
Unless it was just poison. But I was under that impression that it implanted something in her as a host.
Yeah, because they were freaking out when they saw her, the military. They were like, oh, she's bit. We got somebody with a bite. And then they took her behind the thing. I like that they did never explain that either, though. Yeah. I was like, cool. I feel like we wouldn't. Yeah, you wouldn't know.
They obviously know because they've been dealing with some people with bites. But yeah, that was so. Yeah, and then the military guy letting them go was kind of silly. But whatever. They needed to go to the apartment. Oh, what else was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I find it. This is just a side note. So interesting why we always make aliens look like bugs and have qualities of bugs, like making humans their host and stuff like that. Because this is really random thought, but on Earth, supposedly, humans have the superior intelligence over other living creatures, supposedly, right? As far as we know. So why wouldn't beings from other planets that can have way better intelligence than us, because we're not capable of going this far to other planets yet. We can only get to the moon. Just be bugs, big giant monster bugs. Oh, we talked about this, I think, with Annihilation or something, right? Like it seems like it would be a way, way higher intelligence than just a monster that's destroying stuff and flailing itself around. Am I making sense?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we're looking at it through the lens of what we know exists. And so it always has characteristics of things that we know about.
But not things that of super high intelligence.
Yeah.
But anyways, that I just thought of that right now. So we don't have to tackle that. So let me tell you this. The casting. Okay, so this I missed when this movie came out, and I am bummed because I guess the media, I wanted to know if you experienced any of this when it came out. There were so many cool things like, okay, so let me just tell you, It reminded me of like Nope. All the campaigning and then the fake website. They did a ton of stuff like that. All of the characters had Facebook pages, like all kinds of stuff. I was not privy to any of this, and I wish I was. So this was super, super secret. The first time they showed any type of a trailer regarding this movie was it was a Transformers movie. They did a sneak peek, like the trailers in the beginning. Yeah. So it premiered. The little trailer premiered before a Transformers movie, and people were going crazy. Like, what is this? Because all it showed was, I think maybe the Statue of Liberty, or it didn't show anything about aliens, anything at all like that. And so everyone was going crazy. Casting was also done in secret. So no script was given to the candidates to prevent the leaking of plot information. Instead of auditioning the actors with scenes from the film, scripts from Abrams' previous productions were used, such as the television series Alias and Lost. Some scenes were also written specifically for the audition process, not intended for the film. Lizzie Kaplan stated that she accepted a role in Cloverfield thinking it was going to be like a love story without knowing the premise, solely because she was a fan of Abrams' produced Lost. And her experience of discovering its true nature initially caused her to state that she would never sign on for a film in the future without knowing full well what it was. She indicated that her character was a sarcastic outsider and that her role was physically demanding.
Interesting. Okay, is that why she wouldn't do it again, maybe?
Oh, yeah, that she would never want to do it again. Yeah, I think I read somewhere else that she was thinking it was going to be a love story. So can you imagine the polar opposite of what she I mean, this seems way more exciting, but I guess I would be stoked. I'd be like, oh shit, yeah, I thought it was going to be a boring love story. There's aliens! Me too. Okay, along the same lines, all of the characters received a personal MySpace page, all of which are accessible and featuring available with photos and all available photos, but they used to have blog posts and stuff, but that has been removed. And the last thing about marketing, unlike most viral marketing campaigns, this one had virtually nothing to do with the film's plot or characters. Instead, it focused mainly on the fictional drink Slusho and the fictional company Tequila, slowly giving clues of the secret origin of the monster that isn't addressed properly in the film. Following various clues, players discovered that the monster is an ancient amphibious organism discovered during the construction of Tawny Station, an oil platform off the coast of Connecticut belonging to the Japanese company Tequila, which had the purpose of extracting a substance called seabed nectar that would become the secret ingredient for the drink created by the founder named Slusho. So the very end where you see the thing coming in the water, I immediately thought that's the alien arriving.
Yeah, right.
Right? No, apparently, well, you can think that, right? But all of this other stuff, let me just tell you.
I don't even know that I followed all of that. Hold on.
So there was all of this marketing going out there where all of us, if we knew that it was going on, could piece together these clues from the various MySpace pages, from this website for the company Targato, for the drink Slusho. And I guess whatever you do, if you follow the clues, you could discover that the monster in this movie, it was actually an ancient amphibious organism that was discovered by this company when they were building an oil platform, and it got loose, like they almost unearthed this ancient thing. So it was here within the earth as a prehistoric, which, by the way, per what I was just talking about, it makes sense that it's more monster bug life and not highly intelligent. Just want to say. So this company.
Then, what's the purpose of the end shot? By the way, I'd never noticed that before. This is the first time. It's possible that I read about it at some point and it planted itself in my brain, so I knew what to look for. But I don't think I picked that up on first watch. And then I saw it plop into the ocean, and I was like, "Shit, there it was." And that makes sense why the fucking government would have this video, because it has proof of the thing arriving.
So that, I don't remember if I saw it the first time. I tend to, if they show anything like there's a big landscape, I obsess over looking at all of it. But no one in my family did either. And I was like, oh shit, did you see? And they're like, no, I didn't see. So we had to rewind it. But here's the thing, what it says about that. Okay. Also, when they were drilling, they got this seabed nectar, which became the secret ingredient for this drink, right? Okay. Targurato, this company, repurposes Chow Station, which is the oil platform, after the discovery, so the alien, and pulling a cover-up involving the ordered assassination of the employee who originally made the discovery, using the front as an oil drilling platform also for surveillance of the monster and its parasites, who are using seabed nectar as a means of nourishment for their host, applying the substance on its back. Eventually, the monster awakens and destroys the station before finding its way to the shore of New York and the beginning of the film. There was also, it looks like I did not add this one piece. They're saying some people think that there is that the alien is arriving in that shot, or it's one of this company's satellites. There was something within this as well where they lost one of its satellites, and that's the satellite that's coming.
What the fuck? That is like a big ass fucking story to piece together. From
such a big. Oh, here we go. Reeves also pointed out that the final scene on Coney Island shows something falling into the ocean in the background without explanation. This may have been either the satellite owned by that fictional Japanese company or the creature itself. Okay, so that's because a company news piece, so you can find on the Togurato website, mentions that a piece of the Japanese government's chimpanzee satellite fell into the Atlantic Ocean. So this is just all stuff that you...
I don't even know what to do with this information because it's so vast. It's like they put so much time and effort into this like whole story that you like don't actually need. But like would have been cool to read about at the time. I had no idea about this. I don't remember hearing about it at all. When the movie came out.
Please, if you're out there and you remember and you went through this web of clues, I just am so curious. How did this play out? I want to know.
Yeah, so interesting. It is interesting too to have a guerrilla marketing campaign that doesn't revolve around the movie or the subject. Like with it, like any of the stuff in the movie, you know, maybe there were tiny seeds planted, but like, yeah, this is like entirely separate. But I do kind of like actually that you could kind of either know it or not know it. And either way the movie works, you know?
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. I did not know it.
Wow, dude, that's some fucking serious knowledge. I had no fucking clue.
I had no clue either. I started reading the majority of all. So on IMDb, there was only like 3 pieces of trivia. So all of this came from the very robust Wikipedia page where it just dove into all of these different pieces. And the majority of it was about, everything I can find was about the secrecy around it. And I guess they kept changing the name as well. They had different names, but then the name would be leaked. So there's people out there that were figuring this stuff out. I don't know that they were figuring stuff out. The Cloverfield, there was a bunch on the name. And I really couldn't follow it. It was something along the lines of J.J. Abrams passes this off-ramp on the way to work in New York, or also something about the Brit. I don't even know. There was just a bunch of stuff, but it didn't. Mainly it was the name of the operation, the covert operation that covered up was Cloverfield. But he got the inspiration for Cloverfield from... I guess it is a street in New York and he passes it or something, whatever. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have one more thing that I thought was really cool because it reminded me of Host. So the running time of the film without credits is 80 minutes, the length of a long running mini DV tape, a common format used in consumer camcorders. So I really liked that detail, which reminded me of Host.
You know what I realized like way after the fact, and I'd have to go back and look again, but I feel like in the beginning when they're doing the testimonials, they have the little like, runtime in the corner. And then that completely disappears. Like the whole like camera UI thing just at some point like went away. And it was just like footage, which I didn't notice at the time while I was watching, but way later I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, you're right. I didn't notice it either.
Oh,
but
you know what?
Interesting.
You know what I liked about it is like we did like the greatest hits of like found footage shit. Like we did have like the, you know, runtime. We had night vision. We had an autofocus thing. Like it was like, I don't know. I liked all of that. That felt very, it was like a little novel, you know, it was a little bit of a novelty, but like we were talking last week, we were like, what is this found footage going to be like with all this money behind it? You know, is it going to feel too produced, too polished? And like, I don't think it did, actually. I think obviously, you know, there's lots of CGI and it's very like we're saying epic and big movie, J.J. Abrams movie style shit. But I feel like they did a good enough job with like the found footage aspect where not all the shots are perfect. And there's just like all of these flaws within the camera work that made it feel more found footage-y, you know?
I agree with you 100%. Per this, since we're talking about found footage and a comment that you made earlier that people said they didn't like about it. And I did read that that there was a notice saying, you know, you could get sick, motion sickness, blah, 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 and that people were sick and throwing up. I actually loved it. And I get motion sickness. I made a note. I love how this was filmed. I thought it was enough seeing what's going on around me without seeing too much. And also getting the, you know, running or the camera dropping, those realistic moments. I thought it was a beautiful blend. I remember very clearly, and this isn't found footage, but seeing Saving Private Ryan in the movie theater, getting so motion sickness that I actually went to the bathroom and threw up.
Oh my God.
That opening scene.
I haven't seen it.
Okay. There's an opening scene that is, with the war. And it was so dizzying. I threw up. And when I came back, I had to just look at the ground till that scene was over. So I do get affected by motion in movies. Not once in this movie. I disagree with anybody who thought it was bad because I thought it was great.
I agree. I also I historically haven't had motion sickness, but sometimes when I play some video games, I do get a little motion sickness now as an adult. So I was nervous to go back and watch this again because people talk about it so much and it's like such a big part of the conversation that I was like, oh no, am I going to get motion sick now watching this? And I made sure not to drink while I was watching it because I was like, I do not want to get, you know, dizzy. But I didn't have that effect either at all.
Yeah. I didn't look away once. It was... Yeah. And I'm real delicate, guys. I'm telling you, when it comes to motion. I did really love HUD's character. I thought his sarcastic sense of humor fit his fear, and he made me smile a lot. And I just wanted to say, TJ Miller, who played HUD, had said in various interviews that he taped a third of the movie and almost half of it made it into the film.
And almost half of his footage?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and they does have more, so the other parts that were recorded, but I thought that was cool that the actor, I mean, I guess in a found footage it would be, but I don't know. I thought that they would just trick you. It wouldn't really be the actor holding the camera, right?
Yeah.
And going through, but yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah, he got on my nerves sometimes. I feel like there were some of those moments where I was like, okay, this is like not a time to be joking. But again, I tried to be like, you don't know until you're in the moment. And so some people like do make jokes when they're nervous, you know? So I was like, maybe it's all right.
Yeah. And if you think about it, probably because you don't see him for the most of it, is this just voiceover stuff?
Yeah.
Besides the stuff that he filmed. And so he's got to get himself back in the moment. But I thought he was silly. I kind of didn't enjoy Beth. I did think her fear at the very end, I did note that it looked very real, her fear at the end. So she did a good job. I think maybe it was just the love story that I was bored of.
Me too. It seemed pretty fucking shallow. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't a whole lot of development with these people's story. they knew each other for a long time, they had sex, and then they were avoiding each other. Like, that's really all we know. And so it's just like not enough. It just feels like it's not enough to carry us all the way through the rest of the movie. I agree with that as well. But I will say that end scene, I cried actually, because I think the terror and the like this is something that gives me anxiety, is these like, you know, what are they called? Like huge weather events and stuff, like natural disasters. Again, this is like a monster movie, but it feels to me like it's a natural disaster or a catastrophe movie. And so the anxiety behind that, like, what would you do if there were, you know, fireballs like raining down on your building where you're at, or there's an explosion so bad in the streets that everybody's panicking. Like the people's panic in this movie, like, oh, I love that. I think it's like so well portrayed. All of that stuff gives me a lot of anxiety. So to watch them at the very end sit there and know that there is no hope of escape, and they are just documenting, I'm getting chills talking about it. Yeah. They're just documenting their names and who they are and their story for like historical purposes, because what the fuck else are you supposed to do? And she's just like bawling, and she's also trying to do it, but she's like, what do I say? Oh, it was like so, this moment specifically is so scary to me that I cried. I was like, I would hate to be in a situation like this. It's awful. And then it truly is a bleak ending. They just die. Like, I kept thinking, again, I remembered them getting away, but I was thinking about when they get in the helicopter. So I was thinking like, oh, we're going to end up with a happy ending. No, they just die. So
that was a great description. I don't know if you guys can see, but I got cold chills I was reliving that. And that I actually wrote right during that scene, Elizabeth is a good actor. Because of that, she was just terrified. Yeah. And she's like, I don't know what to say. And you would at first, when he's like, okay, this is my name, I was like, oh, come on. But then I thought, oh, wait. Yeah, I think you would. Just in case this tape survives for the future.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good ending. It's a good ending.
It's a good ending. You just got to tweak that helicopter a little bit.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Bit. Maybe the alien, when it ate HUD, it winged him.
And then chased after him.
Yeah. And so when they're going HUD, 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 and they're running, maybe, Anyway, I'm gonna let it go.
We can fix that many ways, I'm sure. Yeah.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I think I hit all my important notes.
Yes, I did too.
I just love when some shit pops off, like you said. This movie does such a good job of like the instant fucking chaos and people panicking and running, and I couldn't do it. I think my body would not allow me to go back into the chaos or run towards the monster. I don't think in reality, I would love to say that I would go back for somebody. If I truly thought the world was ending, like I said, and all hope was lost, and the only thing I felt like I could do in that moment was get to somebody that I loved or cared about, I'd probably do it. But I don't actually know that my body would let me. I think I'd be too scared.
Yeah, if I was Marlena, I would have went with the military in that one
100%.
scene. 100%. She's like, not that tied to these people. Why?
Yeah, you met them like 3 times. She even says that earlier in the movie. Yeah, why? There's no point. She doesn't even
know Beth. There's the military. I would stick with them until I got to a point where...
But as soon as those people were like, okay, come this way, I'd be like, okay, bye.
Bye, guys. Good luck. Good luck. I'll be praying for you.
Yeah.
Peace out. Oof. Is this a genre, or maybe it would just be it, because it's not only with aliens, though. I just like this feeling of everything is normal, because I think that's one of the biggest fears of mine, is that we wake up and we have this nice normal day. I'm looking out the window. That's why I'm looking out the window. That's where I'm looking. And we have this nice normal day and things are just going, and just that knowledge in the back of your head that everything can change in the blink of an eye, whether it's a true crime situation or a doctor's visit or an alien invasion. At any moment, the whole world can change for the worse. Your whole world can change for the worse, because thinking about it changing for the best isn't a bad thing. And so it just terrifies me. And so I love it so much.
I agree 100%. I love, like, just off the top of my head, I'm thinking 28 Days Later, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dawn of the Dead, where shit just pops off. I can't think of any of the others right in this moment, but I love this also. And I think this is one of my probably deep-seated fears of the same thing. Like, one moment you can be just like living your life, and the next moment, everything is turned upside down. And that, like, the possibility of that looms over us every day.
Every moment.
Yeah. Not even this big scale of like a catastrophe or whatever, but like you could get into a car accident. You could, your house could burn down. Like, there's like all of these different things that
you could
happen.
receive a phone call that something happened to someone else.
Totally. You could watch somebody die or get mortally wounded. This is one of my fears, is watching somebody get seriously fucking injured. Because that's that same feeling of like, one moment everything's fine, and the next moment it's turned upside down. Ugh. It's
and
like
that feeling of, oh my God, if I could just go back, and you can't.
Yeah.
That desperation that I think we're leaving all of our listeners off on a real good note. Now everyone's stressing and sad.
I know, no. Sorry.
No, but it's such a deep-rooted fear that, because I've even seen movies about, say, 9/11. Just everyone going about their day, and just any of those types of things. That is my favorite type of movie to watch because it's so terrifying, truly terrifying to me.
Yeah. True world. Yeah. Again, I know that this is sci-fi, but I keep saying like it feels like it's something that could happen in reality if there weren't maybe monsters involved or what, same exact thing. I love it too. Maybe we should at some point do some kind of series on these things, because they also fuck me up for the same reason.
Ooh, let's do it. And we could look at different ones.
Yeah.
Invasions of different kinds, or, just like we were talking about, death or whatever. Ooh,
you get zombie, right? Of course.
Yeah. Ooh, let's brainstorm this. Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
And by the way, we don't know that none of this could happen. We don't know what's living in the depths of the earth. We don't know what's out in the space around us. So don't be like dismissive, guys.
We really are. We are scaring everybody. Hey, just be worried about everything like me.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Are we ready to rate it?
I think so.
All right, Tawny, what would you rate this movie?
Okay, I think I'm gonna land, and maybe you'll sway me here, but I think I'm gonna go a 3.9.
Ooh, nice.
I felt like I couldn't go all the way up to a 4, because those movies, like, I like a lot. Like, those movies I always say, like, I love, and I do love this movie. And I do think there's scary moments to this movie, but I also kind of like, I don't know. I've never gone to watch it again, after watching it the first time. And so I gave Mother a 3.9, which I think I like it on that same level. And you really talked me up on Mother, because I used to not like that movie as much, but
yes.
But then I'm thinking, man, I was a little hard on The Menu. I give The Menu a 3.85, and maybe I need to change that, but
I support that change.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I'm at. What are you going to rate it?
We are almost identical. I am rating it a 4.
Okay.
This is the first time I thought about it beforehand, and I felt like, you know what, I believe this is a solid 4. That's what I said as soon as it was done. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It has all the elements I just talked about, all the things I loved about it. I think what would have made it higher for me is if it was a little more terrifying, meaning the monster was cool, but it was almost like a King Kong Godzilla-esque type monster versus aliens I've seen, like those freaking Quiet Place aliens, where I felt scared. So if I could feel scared, I would have rated this higher. And I was looking at my other 4s where I had Haunt, I think was a 4, and some other, Annihilation, Event Horizon. And I was like, yeah, I feel like I enjoyed it on the same level as those movies.
Okay. You know what this reminded me of? I don't know if you saw this. Did you see The Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt?
I have not.
It was like, it came out a few years ago, I think. And it was generally shit on by everyone. It's like very long. I think it was like a 2-hour at least movie. Very long. But the whole plot is like kind of about time travel. But it's also kind of about like it's about like aliens and like this big invasion type situation. Jade and I really liked it, and like everybody else online like shit all over it. But something about this movie that was really well done is like the fucking alien monsters are terrifying. Like it is like next level. Like Jade and I were like blown back in our seats watching these aliens just fuck people up. I mean, there was like, you watch it and you're like, no fucking chance of survival at all. Like you are totally screwed if you have to deal with these things. So I agree that like the monsters are scary and cool and big, but they like for some reason feel like they don't actually pose that much of a threat to our characters that we're following because they're so big. So like when we get the little monsters in the subway, I feel like that helps because I'm like, oh, there's some little things that are going to fuck you up. But it's like all the times except for the end, the big monster just ignores them because it's so big. So it can be scarier for sure. Agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I also wish there was like more depth to the characters' relationships or the characters themselves or like something. It's just, it's not a very like deep movie, which is fine. It doesn't have to be, but like that's also why I feel like I can't rate it higher.
Yeah, because if you think about the Quiet Place, they don't even talk in that movie, but there is so much depth to those characters.
Definitely.
And you care about them so much. But okay. All right. Nice. All right, everybody. So our next episode is Patron Pick. If you haven't voted by the time you hear this, it's going to be too late. So always look out for our Patreon vote because we'd love to hear what you have to say. But we're going to you get to submit what movie you want us to watch. Sometimes we have a theme, like we have found footage this month. Sometimes we don't. And then our Patreon members get to choose, vote on the final one. So that's what's coming up next. We don't know what it is yet at this point.
We got a lot of good suggestions that I saw.
Oh, yeah.
Megan is Missing. The House That October Built. I haven't seen that one. A lot of good ones that I'm like, yes.
Okay. Nice. If you like us and you want to vote in the future, follow us on Instagram at twochicksandahorrorflick, or you can search for us on your favorite social media platform and follow us there. What else, Tawny?
If you want to support the show, you can give us a like, review, and subscribe on whatever podcatcher you're listening to us on. And that's it. So we'll see you next week, and we hope you have such a good night. No nightmares.